What is self-care? Self-care is to give yourself emotional and physical supports that you need. Self-care is to allow yourself to be nurtured in physical, emotional, mental, and spiritual levels. And it's to take full responsibility for your own happiness. Instead of blaming others or external circumstances for not being truly fulfilled, self care is to assure that you are satisfied all the time. Self care is to do whatever it takes to feel good, even if it means facing your darkest fear. It's to protect yourself from unhealthy thoughts, people, and environments. Self care is to be selective of what you're feeding yourself. This includes feeding yourself with positive thoughts, contents, and healthy food. It's to be conscious of who you're bonding with. It includes keeping people who treat you real good and cutting out people who spread negative thoughts and vibes. And self care is not selfish. Self love is actually the highest form of love that you can possibly experience because the more you love yourself and know who you are, you keep breaking your own limits that you set on yourself before and become free enough to have access to higher knowledge and wisdom. That can liberate you on many, many different levels. And this eventually brings you a whole different level of life experience. Some people call it enlightenment, some call it self actualization, self realization, and bliss. And self care is to grow yourself into a better being. It's to find out and develop your talents. Self care is to pay attention to your own needs. It's to increase your self esteem. Self care is not to let yourself stay feeling down. Self care is not to blame yourself or feel guilty and jealous because this doesn't make you feel good. Self care is to lift up yourself by doing what makes you happy, to express yourself even if some people disagree with you. Because self care is not to please others but yourself. And it's not to say yes when you really mean no or vice versa. And self care is not to make yourself uncomfortable. It's to be honest with yourself. It's not to expect others to take care of you. Self care is to feed your soul with love, knowledge, and wisdom. Self care can make others uncomfortable with you, but it can also inspire others. Self care is not to care about what others think of you, it's to be conscious of how you think of yourself. Self care is to take good, real care of yourself as if you treat one that you love the most. In this world of illusion, things and people may seem separate from you, but you can never be separate from yourself. Therefore, it's totally worth caring yourself. Because without you, your worth doesn't exist. Your existence proves your worthiness, period. Otherwise, you would have not existed. So there is nothing that you have to prove your worthiness. Instead of trying to fit in and please others and society, start pleasing yourself and start looking for what makes you happy. Be responsible for your happiness, no matter how old you are and where you are, because no one cares if you're happy unless you do. So I hope you have a wonderful day, and I'm sending you lots of love.